Good evening, guys. Welcome back to another video. It's Steven here with 5 things that we learned from yesterday's very fun, very entertaining 3-1 win against Swansea, the Rayan Cherki masterclass. It will be a lot about him, let's be honest, today. But there are other things I want to talk about and draw attention to. I hope you're well. Do let me know in the chat how you're getting on today, what you made of that game, and how you're feeling. Like 24 hours removed from Cherki's wonder show. It was an awful lot of fun, wasn't it? It really was. I'm buzzing about that. I woke up thinking about Rayan Cherki, and I'll probably go to bed now because of this video, thinking about him as well. And some footballers that bring you joy, and he's one of them. Don't forget, if you are new to the channel, it does help support a lifelong Manchester City fan. Long suffering, but also long happy. Long happy and now long standing City fan. I'm waffling, I'm tired. Subscribe to the channel is what I'm trying to say. Give the video a like at the same time. Of course, if you want a more in-depth review of the game, go back and watch the match reaction where I go over every single player and every single thing that pops to mind. But this is something where we just hone down on a few particular points. And I'm going to start with the only place we really need to start, if I'm being honest. We have to start here. And I've gone for the pretty dramatic title, and I've gone for a pretty dramatic headline because he's a pretty dramatic footballer. I put Cherki is a must start. He is. I think he is. I think in a Manchester City side, I would say right now lacking a little bit of magic, a little bit of joy, that Yoga Benito, that absolute love of football. I think Rayan Cherki is a must-start. His mercurial talent, his effervescence with the ball. Watching him play last night, I got a little bit of my joy back. Look, I've enjoyed City this season, and Phil Foden and Doku and so on have done wonderful things. But Rayan Cherki is the first player I've seen in a while that I think could actually be, other than obviously Rodri and Haaland, blah, blah, but a potential Ballon d'Or winner. I really rate him that highly. This guy is a once-in-a-lifetime level talent. Does it mean he'll become that good? Absolutely not. I know this was just Swansea, by the way. Absolutely, it was just Swansea. But it was so telling that every single time he got the ball, I felt he was going to do something special, and he often did. There's a magnetic quality to Rayan Cherki. The way the ball is drawn towards him, the way players are drawn towards him, the way he has this incredible ability to know what he's going to do before he's even done it, his vision, understanding of the game, and all this without any meaningful football for a while now. He's been out injured. I know once again it was just Swansea, but they tried to put everyone behind the ball, and he still tried to find moments of magic, and he produced them. Cherki is, the wife's in the chat, Cherki is a magnetic footballer. Thank you very much, Nicola. Maybe that's why I've got a few thousand subscribers on the channel. Thank you very much. I'm not a Cherki, but I'm more like Jerky. That'll do. But anyway, Nicola's distracting me. Thank you, as always. What was I saying? Thanks, wife. I'm too tired for this, by the way. I was saying, but Cherki is if you're watching not live, Nicola put there's a magnetic quality to you, so she repeated my own words. She's down in the hallway doing the clip washing as I'm doing this video. Anyway, but Cherki, he's such a fantastic footballer. He really is, and I just enjoy watching him. And to me, looking at this City side now, where we do look a little bit like cross it to Haaland and hope for the best or whatever. And Phil's also, of course, had moments of brilliance, and Doku has, and so on. But I do think this City side is lacking a little bit of, a little bit of inspiration, a little bit of spark. It's very obvious that in a post-De Bruyne world, and before that, a post-David Silva world, and Gundogan and so on, that there is magic to be had still. I think Cherki is the most talented footballer I've seen City sign for an awful long time. And I'm not just saying that to get, ahead of myself. It's not hyperbole. He's just a special footballer that does special things. And I think he is a must-start. I think you have to start playing him at some point. I don't know where he gets in, and I'll talk about that later on, but all I know is that if he's on the pitch, things are going to happen. Of course, there will be an adaptation period, but I'm very much of the attitude that the quicker that he gets up to speed with the Premier League, the quicker we're going to see magic. And I would very much throw him in, because the only way he's going to get up to speed with the Premier League is by playing those minutes. Of course, it's not as simple as that. I understand fitness, caution with his injury. Sometimes you just have to just not play him. I get it. But largely speaking, Cherki is a guy that you probably should be looking to get into the 11 most times, because he is a fantastic footballer. And we look at what Florian Wirtz has done at Liverpool since he joined. I know Liverpool have been an absolute steaming Tyler dog's head. They've been terrible. They've been so bad. Really bad. But Florian Wirtz came for 125 million quid or something like that. A stupid amount of money. And this guy cost a quarter of that. And to me, looks more talented, more obviously gifted. Not saying he'll have a better career, but he is more talented. I don't think that I'm gonna just say that. I think he is more talented. I think Wirtz could be a cracking player, but I think Cherki is a special footballer, like special. He's in the upper echelons of talent. It doesn't mean, we've seen many mercurial players who just don't go as far as they should do. for many reasons. But it looks to me like this guy's locked in. I loved all the quotes afterwards about wanting to bring the fans pleasure. Cherki's going to pleasure us all, apparently. So, I mean, it's very kind of him, but just goals will do on the pitch, maybe. Thank you very much. But no, I won't relax with the glazing. I won't, because I think Guardiola said very similar things as well. Guardiola said look, you might think I'm exaggerating, but Guardiola, I can't remember the exact quote, but Guardiola spoke about him in a way that was different, different to others. And I think it's very obvious he can do things that others simply can't. As I said, it doesn't mean he's going to be an all-timer, but his talent-wise, it's up there. It truly is up there. And like watching him get the ball last night from everywhere, be it defensive midfield and all that kind of stuff. Nicola, stop it. She's just trying to distract me. I am genuinely trying. But watching him get the ball, someone's got to be getting some, haven't they? Because I'm definitely not. So, but hey, watch him get the ball pretty much anywhere. And here's the heat map, by the way. Look at him. I'll show you now. 1 second. Where has it gone? There we go. Look, dropping deep to get the ball, floating pretty much anywhere as a 10, left-sided channel, right-sided channel, central, going back to get the ball off the centre-backs, as you can see there. This man just wants to be involved, and there's a David Silva-esque attribute to that. I'm not saying he is David Silva level, but David Silva did that. The ball was drawn to him, and, let's see how he goes. Sweet, no. You don't get to tell me what to do, mate. I'm sorry, pal. I disagree. I just absolutely disagree. I think he's a brilliant player. I think he's a special footballer, and I think his talent is obvious. A whole bunch of players returned from injuries and so on, and Cherki was his rhythm perfect immediately. One thing is when people tell me what to say and what not to say, you don't get a chance to do that, mate. It's my channel, and I can do it if I want to. And if you don't like it, off you toddle. Second thing I want to talk about is Marmoush. I do believe his instinct is needed in this side. We've been a shot shy Manchester City, a team absolutely desperate for goals, desperate for contributions other than Erling Haaland. No one scored more than 2 goals this season, I think. But Marmoush is a man who will bring you goals. It's very obvious that this footballer is a guy who lives for that killer instinct that he's got. Like, look, I understand that he was all over the place. Like technically, he couldn't. The touch of a horse, he was wearing Timberlands. It's ridiculous. The ball's bouncing off him everywhere. He was really loose at times, but he has this uncanny ability to affect the game. Look at that goal. The instinct of that is just Sergio. Look, he's not a Sergio Aguero. He never will be. But that was a Sergio Aguero goal. It was brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant. Marmoush is absolutely capable of wondrous things, and while he may frustrate every now and then, I suspect he'll get better. By the way, it's his first game in ages. His first start. He was a bit rusty, but while he might frustrate every now and then, you can't deny that instinct. Like, City need goals from other avenues, and Marmoush will bring them because he's such a high volume chance producer. Like, his movement is fantastic, so he creates a lot of XG and all that kind of stuff, and he's just a fantastic finisher. Like, he drills shots with like a rasperous power. Like, rasperous is not even a word. He rasps them towards goal, and he's just genuinely a ferocious footballer. And I'm really happy he's back, because I think he takes some of the burden off the team, and I think Cherki's another one who scores. And the Marmoush is stop it. Nicholas is trying to wind me up in the chat, and it's very distracting. I'm too tired to be distracted, so my wife's distracted in the chat. I'm not coherent enough, and I lose my train of thought so easily because I'm severely sleep deprived. So, wife, please stop it. I love you, but please stop it. I forgot what I was saying already. It's happened again. What was I? I've literally forgot what I was saying. Fuck my wife. She's terrible. I'll use this chance to say thank you so much to the wonderful Craig, by the way, mate. Thank you so much. Next phone bill. That's free phone bills, actually, mate. I'm on Labara, £6 a month, so thank you so much. That'll be a burger for tea tomorrow night because we haven't got a kitchen, mate. So thank you so much. You're an absolute superstar. If I could withdraw that down now, I would do, because I'm genuinely skinned. So Craig, you're an absolute legend, mate. Honestly, people don't realise, by the way, like when people do super chats, I'm always like, oh, what legends. It really does help. You don't have to ever. People just commenting. Even Sweet, when we argue in the chat, then I still love you for commenting and watching the videos massively. So, but Craig, thank you so much, mate. You're an absolute legend. But yeah, Marmoush, fantastic player, absolutely brilliant. Brilliant natural finisher. Look, he's flawed. Okay, he's a very good player, and there is a flaw to him, but he's got that skill set that we absolutely desperately require. His movement, his pace, his pressing, his touch could be better. His link up could be better. He could get his head up a little bit more, but that killer instinct is absolutely invaluable. I want to talk about Nico Gonzalez next. I'm using Guardiola's own words here. Nico Gonzalez is fundamental. I'll go to the actual quote so you can see what that means. I know I'm expecting Nicola to pop up in the chat and say something. Guardiola said, now he's fundamental for us. Defensively, he helped us a lot. We have an incredible lot of players offensively that don't have the mentality to defend. Not because they don't want to run. Defending means when you're close to the opponent, you take the ball and win it. We're not topping that. Nico helped us, but especially on the ball. He moves much, much better in the right positions, much more clever and aware of the space is free. He's so young, a lovely guy. I'm really pleased because these types of football players are incredibly coachable. They deserve the best. So there's Guardiola validating Nico Gonzalez's development, which is very obvious to anyone paying attention that Nico Gonzalez is going to be a cracking footballer. I am putting by the way, if you compare Mateus Nunes, I don't slam Nunes every time. I did a video saying he could be a cracking right back about 2 weeks ago, for crying out loud. But anyway, if you can compare Nunes with Cherki, come on, man. Like we're talking different levels of talent there. I think even Nunes' mum would admit the same. Like maybe not, but I think she'd feel it deep down. Cherki's on another level of talent. Like he's ridiculous, man. Come on. Anyway, back to Gonzalez. Look, here's a big shout for you. Take this to the bank. Someone remind me of this in 2 years from now. Nico Gonzalez in 2 years from now will be seen as one of the best midfielders in world football. And what I mean by that, not like top two. I mean, we look around and he's in a group of 10 to 15 midfielders that everyone goes, yeah, he's just top class. He's just a world-class midfielder. In the way that, you'd look at Arsenal's midfielders and go, yeah, they're all just top-class midfielders. In the way that you'd look at ours previously, and go top-class midfielders. I'm not going to say he's the best, but I'm going to say he's in that, borderline elite world-class level. And I think Nico Gonzalez is going to get there. I think the fundamentals to his game are there. You can see them, you can sense it, you can smell it. And he's got this wonderful ability to learn. It's very obvious to me that this guy is an absolute sponge of a footballer who will absorb all that information. As Guardiola said, he's very coachable. And that doesn't mean he listens. Guardiola wouldn't just say he's coachable because he listens. I'm sure all the players listen to Guardiola. He's incredibly charismatic. It's hard not to listen to Guardiola. We'd all listen if he spoke. But coachable means, I presume, and I'm just I'm presuming here, but the fact that he uses it, I presume he means that he learns. So that's the difference. Not just that he listens, but he learns. And coachable players, they take it in, they practice, they learn, and they apply those lessons on the football pitch. And I think that's what Nico Gonzalez is. And that, to me, when you've got the right attitude, the mentality which he has, and he's surrounded by great players and surrounded by a great coach who knows how to hone midfielders better than probably any other coach in the history of the game, that's a very encouraging thing. Because he does, once again, he's fundamental to the side right now, but he also has the fundamentals. I see him. I may seem like I'm getting very carried away from him, but I've just got a really good feeling about him, man. And I know I'm optimistic as a person, but I mean, look at these stats against, and it's just Swansea, but 123 passes out of 130. Look at the accuracy in the opposition half as well, 94%, 81 out of 86. He was aggressive, his movement was really good, and he's starting to really open his legs and stride as well. He's got a big rangy stride. And he reminds me a little bit of Declan Rice, actually, the way he runs with the ball. He's powerful. He's deceptively fast, I would say. I'm not going to say he's quick, but that he's got a power because he's about 6'2". He's got a decent sized frame, and when he gets going, and he'll use his body a bit better as he gets older and so on. I think he's a really talented footballer who's going to be. Look, he won't be Rodri. Rodri is an elite level. Rodri's an all-timer, but could he be Fernandinho? I think so. Bear in mind, Fernandinho was 28 years old when he joined us. Nico Gonzalez is 23 and probably playing at a high level than Fernandinho did at the same time. So I think he absolutely could reach that level. Fernandinho was a proper 9 out of 10 footballer. Rodri's a 10 out of 10. Right now, I would say Nico Gonzalez is a 7.5 out of 10 footballer. And I think easily I can see him by being an 8 out of 10 footballer at the end of the season. 8.5 by the end of the next season. Then a 9 out of 10 the year after that. Absolutely. I really can. And when you see, how much certain players improved under Guardiola over the years, I don't see any reason to me why Nico Gonzalez can't be a really cracking footballer. His body position, the way he shields the ball is so much better. His understanding of the movement and the pace of the Premier League is so much better already. His passing range is starting to expand, and he's starting to, dribble a little bit more and get forward. And I think eventually he'll unlock, a goal or two because he's had that to his game. I've got a lot lot of excitement for Nico Gonzalez. I think he's going to prove to be a wee bargain. I'm being honest. Fourth thing I want to talk about. I think selection headaches are coming. I've put Phil Foden there because, and this is not what I feel, but I've already seen people say Cherki should be in the number 10, which raises the question, well, what about Philip Walter Foden? I think these are the questions that we're going to have to start to consider. Well, we don't have to consider. Josep Guardiola will have to consider them, and that's on Pep to make those difficult decisions. It could be that they're both in the side. Phil could play on the right or something like that. You play like a boxy 4-4-2 thing with 2 attacking midfielders, the head of 2 defensive midfielders. I don't know, but I do know it's going to get a little bit messy, if we're being honest. I'm very excited to see what the solution is, but we're going to have very, very big players sat on the bench. I want to see at some point, like I tweeted this last night. Let me try and find it. I want to see something like this at some point, but I think it's going to be, I think it could be really exciting. Where has it gone? I would love the idea of this, where you've got, Nico O'Reilly or Ait-Nouri, at left back, and then Nunes at right back, and I put Nunes there despite me apparently hating him. Guardiola and Diaz, but then Rodri alongside Nico Gonzalez, and then Cherki and Foden in the head, and then Foden nominally, on the right hand side as we, defend, but ultimately you'll drift inside. Nunes can overlap, and then if you have Doku holding the weight from the left, you can have Nico O'Reilly or Rayan Cherki sort of tucking in a little bit more central, and that immediately you think, well, where's Marmoush? Put him on the left if you want to, but where's Tijana Reinders? All these people, Bernardo Silva. I'm not that bothered about Silva, but Savinho, Oscar Bob. There's lots of players that aren't in the side there, and you start to think, well, actually, there's going to be a few questions to answer, and I can't wait to see what Guardiola does, because there's going to be some players that are, going to find a little bit of time on the bench. That's fine. It is what it is. And I sort of do believe that the cream that always rises to the top. Is that the saying? Yeah, something like that. Is that? I think it's that. Does cream rise to the top? Has anyone tried that? Like, you put it in water, what happens? Just floats, doesn't it? So yeah, I guess it does. There we go. I'm going to try that as soon as... No, I'm not going to try that. Anyway, Phil Foden will rise to the top. Cherki will rise to the top because they're cracking footballers. And then it's on Savinho, Marmoush, Doku, Oscar Bob, whoever, another. It's on them to break into this Manchester City side. And I can't wait to see what Guardiola does. And it's good because there was always this situation in previous years. And I think now you've got Rayan Ait-Nouri and you've got Nico O'Reilly. 2 very good options at left back, and we're going to have to see what happens, and I can't wait to see what Guardiola comes up with. The final thing I want to talk about is that we're going to have to, we're going to need time. We're going to have to be patient. I'm already seeing some people judge Rayan Ait-Nouri, for example. He had a bit of a stinky yesterday, but so did Kusanov. Like, some players are rhythm players. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I remember Sergio Aguero. I know he scored a lot, but he always took about 7-8 games to finally look like Aguero again. He'd sort of amble around a little bit until he scored goals occasionally, but occasionally he'd get his fitness back and then he'd look brilliant again. Some players, of course, you can go on the pitch and be cracking straight away, but Ait-Nouri's learning new ideas in a new league, a new team with a new coach, new teammates, and almost certainly, a slightly different role than he's had previously. And I saw some people on his back because he had a bit of a stinker in his first game in absolutely ages. Like, what are we trying to achieve with this? Can we be patient? This isn't FIFA or FC, whatever it's called, the FC. It isn't Football Manager. It's the real world. Players, they need to feel their way into it. It's like you get back on a bike for the first time in, a year or so. You remember how to ride it, but you definitely you get back on the bike and you don't really do the really tight turns. You do the slow turns because you're not quite sure a little bit. We all know what that feeling feels like. And it's exactly the same for anything, be it football, driving a car, whatever. You need to get up to speed again, and I actually think some of the things he was trying, they didn't all come off, but he was trying to play some nice balls in behind to Doku and all that kind of stuff. I think the chemistry that we saw in the Club World Cup with him and Doku, there's something to explore there, and of course Nico O'Reilly's an option, but I think we have to be patient with some of these players. Likewise Marmoush, likewise Cherki, likewise Kusanov, who had a stinker of a first half, by the way. Kusanov's brilliant. I think he's got ridiculous natural attributes as a defender, but that fella was like, he was all over the place. He was shambolic in that first half. Like, just looked like he was just... It looked a bit like when, a player loses their legs and just all of a sudden can't do anything. It looked like Yaya in his final season when he was just running around ambling. It was weird. But it's entirely obviously nerves, fitness and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, we've got to be patient with this side as it finds its way. And I would implore everyone to feel the same. Craig, you're a legend. He said, make it 2 burgers, mate. Nicola, Craig's boys are Franks tomorrow. thank you so much, Craig. Our local burger place is like 30 quid for 2 burgers, so you've justified it for tomorrow night. Thank you so much, mate. You're an absolute legend. Yeah, Craig, you're top bloke, mate. Yeah, have you ever seen you in real life somehow? I'd love to buy you a pint. Thank you very much. But yeah, they're the 5 things that I want to talk about. I'm very excited by this Manchester City side. I've got under no illusions that it's going to be a long journey back to something approaching greatness. But I'm fine with that. You know, I don't watch football just to see my side win. A lot of people, and I spoke to a United fan about that in a sort of head-to-head YouTube video for Sport Bible, and he didn't get that because his childhood was defined by glory, glory, Man United. The idea that the only value you can have as a football team is success. But I watched City. I watched City for the love of the team when I was growing up, and I still feel that way now. The success is a bonus, but to me, watching Manchester City is something I love doing and always have done and always will do. And for me, when I see, people like Cherki and, of course, then youngsters like Nico O'Reilly and obviously Mukasa and so on, and people trying to break through, and then potential new stars like Nico Gonzalez and Marmoush, I enjoy it. And I know we're not perfect right now, and I know there's a long road back to the top, but you can't have everything forever. We've been blessed ridiculously over the past 10 years. It was literally I don't think anyone's ever been more impressive in the history of English football than Manchester City have in the past 10 years. They've done things I didn't even think were possible. I always list these, but I think it's worth reminding ourselves: 100 points and 98 points. Like, what the fuck, man? To win 14 games in a row to win the league after Liverpool getting 97 points is absurd. And then to that season to also win every single domestic trophy, the Formidables, the Centurions, then the treble winners, and the 4 in a row. It's just a first Ballon d'Or. Haaland scoring 50-odd goals in a season. Like, what are we doing? Like, we've had it absolutely incredible. And of course, once you get to the very top, and it's mad, usually when people get to the very top, they go back down because you go up and you go down. City got to the top and just coasted there for years, and they just stayed at the top, and that is really hard to do. And it wasn't like we just climbed, we didn't climb fucking Ben Nevis. We climbed Everest and just hung about there, set up a tent and just chilled, watched a bit of TV. It was crazy. Like, most people come tumbling back down. City got to the top, and you only got to look at Liverpool right now to see how hard it is to stay there. City got to the top and did it. Liverpool this season, they won the fucking league, spent £500 million, they lost 6 in a row, whatever it is. Like, it's really, 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 really hard to do what City have done, and I implore everyone to remember that, and I see all this stuff about standards, and everyone goes, oh, look, Real Madrid, this and that and that. As I said the other day, Real Madrid have won 6 league titles in 20 years. What you feel is not fact. That they have off seasons too. I know they've won a few Champions Leagues, but they've had more seasons without a Champions League or a league title than we have over the past 10 years by some way. It took them an awful long time, Madrid, to find consistency, and then after that they struggled to replace Ronaldo and Benzema and all those people. So look, it's difficult to watch your team who be so great suddenly drop off a little bit, but I like the journey is what I'm trying to get at. I like watching these new stars emerge, and to me football is all about stories. It's all about falling in love with these players, enjoying it. And to me it would be boring watching the same players for 50 years in a row. I don't want to watch that. It's like, who wants to watch the same series of TV over and over again? New plots, new characters. I like it, man. To me, it is entertainment. It's the most visceral form of entertainment, and I love it. So yeah, I can't wait to see how it goes, guys. Thanks for watching this video. It's massively appreciated. I'm gonna go and do some housework, some boring stuff. But for now, thank you to everyone in the chat. Including the wife, to thriving. Oh yeah, I am actually. Yeah, I'm on Matchday Live this weekend for the first time in a while. I'm with Kellen and MCFC lads, Luke. I'm on Matchday Live, and I'm very excited for Sunday's game. So I won't be doing a watch along because I'm at the Etihad for City Bournemouth, which could be interesting. We will see. But I can't wait for it either way. I just need someone to cut my hair for me, because look at that, I look scruffy as anything. If you're watching this, someone come cut my hair. I've texted my hairdresser, but he's just busy. Guys, thanks for watching. I love you all loads. In a bit, up the blues. Bye-bye.